After the Austrian team rejected the offer made by the Volkswagen-owned company, their 2026 partnership is officially over. In order to become equal partners, Porsche demanded a 50% stake in the team. Additionally, they wanted complete control over the power unit that they were going to deliver to Red Bull starting in 2026, which Red Bull found objectionable given that they had only recently established their own powertrain division. Before we continue, please hit the subscribe button so that you'll stay updated with the latest in Formula One. The agreement was called off by both sides, with the German company issuing the following statement. The German automaker, which is owned by Volkswagen, stated that the two companies have now jointly decided that these conversations will no longer be continued. The idea was always that a partnership would be founded on an equal footing and that this would apply to both the team and the engine collaboration. This was impossible to accomplish. According to the team's top advisor, Dr. Helmut Marko, the fact that Red Bull are in talks with Honda about the Japanese manufacturer returning as a works partner indicates that the team is not overly concerned by the collapse in negotiations with the well-known manufacturer. He told Austrian radio station OE3, "We don't need anyone right now. We're open if it turns out that there are synergies and benefits." After Porsche's termination was officially announced, we got some unexpected inquiries. "We're in talks with Honda," he said. Porsche is apparently looking at a possible alliance with Williams or McLaren as they continue their search for a compatible partner for 2026. It was deemed inevitable that the two would join into a partnership when the new engine restrictions were imposed in 2026, so Marko was asked about the Porsche arrangement and what ultimately went wrong. The 79-year-old claimed that Porsche ultimately sought to fill or double-fill every post at Red Bull. In other words, they wished to have complete control. Of course, things don't operate that way. Red Bull has made a point of avoiding using a major manufacturer for their powertrain, and the team has already fired up their first in-house engine for the 2026 season. As we conversed, it became apparent that we would have lost our team's flexibility and become too bureaucratic, he added. The Austrian declared, "As it stands, we're in a good situation. Until 2028, we will have the fastest driver. The best engineer is Adrian Newey, who we have. In addition, we have an engine factory that will be ready in 55 weeks. The very first engine is already running. That indicates that we are totally independent." Currently, Formula One is booming, and prospective new teams and manufacturers are paying greater attention to the competition. Audi has already announced that it will be a powertrain supplier for the championship beginning in 2026, and the German automaker is exploring the possibility of working with Sauber. Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali rejected Michael Andretti's request to have a team in the championship. Domenicali wants to demonstrate that the championship is still being handled at the highest level and that the sport isn't afraid of losing the interest of significant businesses like Porsche. F1Insider.com cites Domenicali as saying, "Today, more than ever before, we have a mixture of teams, manufacturers, and engine suppliers at the highest level. We are prepared to act if anything changes." Following the announcement that a previously discussed deal with Red Bull Racing will not materialize, Porsche stated that Formula One is still an interesting environment for the venerable German automaker. In a statement released on the Friday before the Italian Grand Prix, Porsche acknowledged that they had been looking for a partnership with Red Bull, but that it ultimately would not come about. The statement continued, "Dr. Ing, Porsche AG, and Red Bull GmbH have discussed the potential of Porsche's participation in Formula One over the course of the past few months. These discussions will no longer be continued. The two firms have now jointly decided. The idea behind a partnership has always been that all parties involved should be on an equal footing, including the team as well as the engine partnership. Achieving this was impossible." The master strategy developed in July of last year in Spielberg by Red Bull founder Dietrich Mateschitz and Wolfgang Porsche, a significant player on the Volkswagen main board, ultimately failed when it was implemented on lower levels. Corporate egos got in the way as each tried to show that it was better equipped. Red Bull eventually realized that its DNA and, more importantly, its agility were in danger. Ironically, Red Bull management came to this realization on Audi's glory day. By the end of Spa weekend, F1 executives realized the partnership was in grave danger. This week's last-ditch negotiations, in which Porsche is thought to have put out a counter-proposal, were unsuccessful. Red Bull then depressed the trigger. The gap between the two sides was simply too great. Red Bull will continue to create its own powertrain for 2026, one that was initially intended to display Porsche's script on the valve covers and Stuttgart's coat of arms on the airbox. For those who don't know the meaning, let's briefly say what a powertrain is. The collection of all the parts that propel a car forward is called the powertrain. The engine of a car generates power, which the powertrain then transfers to the wheels on the ground. The engine, transmission, driveshaft, axles, and differential are the main parts of a powertrain. Despite Porsche's claim that it has not given up on Formula One, insiders believe the project will be discreetly shelved for a number of reasons, not the least of which being that the business had placed all its eggs in Red Bull's basket, which was in charge of the engine program. According to rumors, the 6 cutting-edge dynamometers that Red Bull Powertrains built at its Milton Keynes facility last year were reportedly originally intended for Porsche. Porsche would then need to weigh its choices and make significant decisions before the 2026 entry date for POO suppliers, which is set for October 15, 2022, which is essentially 5 weeks away. The rumor in the Monza paddock is that Porsche had received special board approval to join Red Bull in Formula One, and since that option is no longer an option, any divergence from its intended operating model would require further analysis. In order for the governing body to implement and enforce a POO budget cap starting on January 1, 2023, the FIA's Technical Advisory Committee concluded that date was not only important but also unalterable. If this window is missed, Porsche would need the support of the entire team, FIA, and Formula One to enter after the deadline. Audi's power unit entry has reportedly been authorized, according to sources. Porsche has recently confirmed that it will proceed with its initial purchase offering, which was announced in February on the day that Russia invaded Ukraine. However, market volatility has forced the company to scale back its stock offering and share price expectations. Investors are reportedly concerned about Bloom's capacity to run the larger Volkswagen group as well as Porsche. In light of that, Formula One is small beer. Finally, given the challenges the global automotive industry, particularly European automakers, is currently facing, it makes little sense to have 2 distinct powertrain suppliers, each with their own programs, within the same group. In light of these circumstances, Porsche will probably use rebadged Audi powertrains in any upcoming Formula One entries, maybe even supply McLaren. The agreement ultimately failed for the straightforward reason that it was organized differently from other Formula One team partnerships in which engine suppliers are simply treated as suppliers and teams make all executive decisions, whether they are connected to business, technology, sport, or drivers. That is how McLaren won 5 titles with Stuttgart Power, even though they were tag-badged, while Red Bull won 9 titles without Porsche. Yet, Porsche insisted on a change in the equation. Despite withdrawing from the possible Red Bull alliance, the statement added that Formula One remained an attractive environment as they would not rule out future involvement. From 2026 on, Formula One will feature new engine regulations, including an increased electrification element and 100% sustainable fuel. Audi, which is owned by the Volkswagen Group, along with Porsche, declared at this year's Belgian Grand Prix that they'll join the sport as engine suppliers in 2026 after the introduction of the new engine regulations. That brings an end to today's video. We hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please hit the like button. Leave your thoughts on this new development in the comments section below. Please also share and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the Formula One world. You can also click on the bell icon to turn on post notifications so you can get notified anytime we upload a video.